So guys, is that time of the month again? Yes guys, let's talk a little bit about predictions. My personal predictions on what I think is gonna actually come in the next update. We are very close to the next update already. Yes, we are less than maybe 2 weeks, maybe less than that. We don't know on the regards of the new dev blogs, right? So yeah, let's talk a little bit about 3 things that I think are going to come next patch. Some of them I already mentioned in other, prediction videos before updates and stuff. But it's just that these 3 guys, I think they are highly likely that they will come. So yeah, it's kind of like a trend that Gaijin is doing. And yeah, let's just get into it, right? So the first thing, guys, is more 4.5 generations. Yes, more jets that are on the verge of being, the most modern 4th generations that we have in the world, right? So I think we have 3 of them that I think are highly likely to see at least one of these. Of course, the J10C or B model, but probably the C model. It was already leaked. It was the B model, right? But a modernized J10. It already appeared on the files as well. So I'm pretty sure the J10C will come, okay? It is highly likely. Remember, just a small add-on over here. J10C is basically an upgraded model of the J10 that we have. New ISA radar, right? A new engine that produces more thrust. IRST, better missiles. Overall, a 4.5, proper 4.5 generation of the J10, okay? Of course, I have to say as well, the Gripen E, the most modern Gripen that we have. People say, oh, but the Swedes, they're just, barely getting started with the Gripen E. But guys, the aircraft is already technically in service, in kind of its initial operational capacity, right? Especially here in Brazil, we have like very few numbers of them. But they just got, for example, cleared for the in-flight refueling. They're carrying missiles. They're not really, fully ready yet. And it's more test pilots that are flying the aircraft and producing the doctrine with it. But, it's in initial operational capacity, right? So, kind of. So, I think it's good enough, to be honest, to have the Gripen E in Sweden, which is, I think, an aircraft that needs to be added there. Remember, of course, it's the Gripen that will take more pilots, more weapons, a better engine, the 414, right? Much better than the 404 that they used. So there's that, and an ISA radar. So IRST, etc., etc. So it's a whole upgrade for the Gripen E to be a proper 4.5 generation, and I think it needs to be added for the Swedes, right? And another one, it's the Super Hornet. Yes, we just got an F-15C Golden Eagle, so I think it's gonna be a little bit of a stretch to see the Super Hornet. So we might not see it in the next patch, but I have a feeling that we are getting closer and closer. So if it's kind of like I don't know, kind of a wild guess over here on the 4.5s, the Super Hornet would be. Remember, this is the whole redesign of the Legacy Hornet. Better engines as a radar can be used. Of course, initially they did use the APG-73, but eventually they got the 79, which is an ESA radar. Much better weapons, much better air-to-ground. Just overall, the aircraft is a modernization. So, yeah. Of course, remember, these aircraft would be a little bit worse in the terms of performance in certain scenarios because it is a lot heavier, okay? But yeah, 4.5 generations are for sure coming, in my opinion. At least one of these will be added, I think, right? Maybe more. Maybe we will see even more. Maybe now that we have the Su-30 Mk2, maybe they will add the Su-35. I don't know. But, yeah, there will be more 4.5s. Then, submarines, guys. Submarines is something that it's kind of controversial to even talk about because we don't have any type of confirmation. Gaijin already confirmed back in the day that they were planning something with submarines, but they were not talking too much about it. And apparently, I couldn't confirm this because the live stream is 1 hour and 16, so I have to watch it for the whole hour again with translation. But apparently B3D said something on the live stream, the last live stream of the last patch, that they were planning on something, like, he didn't say anything, but it was kind of giving hints that maybe they would do something with submarines in the next update. So I have a feeling, guys, that we might actually see finally submarines added to the game. I think submarines is something that everybody loves submarines. They're very cool and stuff. And they did that test back in the day, and honestly, guys, I think it worked, right? It isn't the most interesting, maybe, gameplay for everybody, but it's using stealth. And Gaijin, guys, I think needs to focus on this type of thing. Um, Vehicles that are completely different from what we have in the game, so that you have a variety or a variation of gameplay, right? I am feeling this, for example, in the helicopters right now. I'm starting to play with helicopters. As you saw in the video with the Apache Guardians, I'm not the best player ever, but I'm getting used to them. I'm getting used to them, and they're very different than anything else on ground battles, right? And I think submarines would be kind of like that, completely different. You have to use stealth, just like a helicopter, but so it's different. It's very different, and yeah, for sure. Hopefully, they add submarines. But I think something will happen with submarines. I don't know if it's another test. I don't know if it's proper addition of the first tech trees. I have no idea, but I have a feeling that submarines might be something that they are working on for the December update. Okay? And last but not least, guys, kind of a minor addition here, but I think it's really important, and it is the SEP V3 Abrams. Yes, I have a feeling that they will finally add the SEP V3 Abrams. Everything is pointing towards that. We had the leak with the M1HUT, right, which is, I mean, somewhat similar to the SEP V3, right? And also, I mean, if it would be added for China, it needs to be added for the US, right? But the major thing here is that US, guys, I don't think it suffers that much, but it needs a new Abrams, in my opinion. It's a tech tree that the SEP V2 is not a bad tank, but it had some downsides that I think the SEP V3 could help, that are just going to make it, good enough, right? So, in my opinion, for example, the SEP V3 would be perfect. I mean, it would still probably fire the same rounds for now, but in the future, if they add Armatas or whatever, Leopard 2A8s or something, maybe they could add more ammunitions to it. But in a general sense, having an Abrams that has a little bit more armor, technically, right? It has the APS system, the trophy, right? That other tanks already have, like, for example, the Merkava 4M, right? So it would help a lot, right? This new system, the APU, could be added. So I think overall, guys, it is about time, guys. It is about time. It's been too long, and with the leaks about the M1HUT, right, for China, I think the SEP V3 is just something that needs to be added for the US. It's not like I said, guys, I don't think US, it's a country that doesn't have good options out there in the tech tree right now, but the SEP V3 is something that it just needs to be added. It's the next step up of the Abrams. It's a tank that it's been a while since I've been talking about this, but I just think that the SEP V3 has these upgrades where it would make sense to have it right now. With tanks like the 2A7V, with the T90Ms, things like that. They're not perfect, but the SEP V3 would be more on par with it, right? So, yeah, these are my 3 predictions, guys. I know, kind of out there, but I have a strong belief that we will see these 3 things being added, okay? Let me know in the comments what is yours. Become a Patreon or a member if you want to help the channel. And I see you guys on the next one. So make sure to subscribe, and bye, guys.